Hello guys, and we're here today with another awesome deck. We're here with the Chicken Race FTK deck, the Chicken Race Exodia deck, because Yugi's legendary deck had just came out, and with it, all 5 pieces of Exodia in it. So we may see some more Chicken Race decks, and so this is a very simple build. There is also the Pendulum build, which involves the $30 Draco Slayer Pendulum, and then Magical Abductor, which can switch out the Exodia pieces, but I feel they clog a little bit, and it's just better overall to just play this build. And also there are 2 other FTKs that Chicken Game can do. The first one is Tempest. Pretty much you just get Magical Magical Library and then Magical Abductor as well. You do need to use the Pendulums for the Tempest FTK, and you get a whole bunch of counters on them. You make Tempest using Plague Spreader, and then you just deal a whole bunch of damage to them because they just gain spell counters for every time you activate a spell card. So they go up pretty high, and they have an unlimited. The other one is Magical Explosion. You activate all your Chicken Games, all your pseudo space to put yourself down to 2,000, and your opponent will have 10,000 or 11,000 if you activate all 3 upstarts, and then you can put both players' life to 3,000, and even if Chicken Game is on the field, you can then use Magical Explosion, and both of your life points are the same. Your opponent can take damage, and they will take damage, and you will win because you have a whole bunch of spell cards in your graveyard. And so those are the 2 other FTKs, and then of course there is the Exodia FTK. So pretty much in order to do any of these FTKs, you pretty much have to open up with Royal Magical Library. Don't feel bad if you have to wait a turn or 2. It may hurt with the Chicken Games if you take too much damage, because then you may not be able to activate all 6. But you don't want to use too many of your spell cards and draw into cards like World and Bamboo Sword or Toon World, and then not have your Royal Magical Library to really go off and really go plus off of those. So let's just go in. We have the 5 Exodia pieces, of course, and then the other one here. Royal Magical Library gains a spell counter for each time a spell card is activated, max 3, so you have to make sure to remove them. You never want to activate a spell card and not gain a spell counter. That is really bad. And then, so for spells, 1 day a piece, very useful. It's stall and draw. Best type of thing you can do for an Exodia deck, stall and draw. 3 upstarts, of course, 3 terraforming, 3 golden bamboo sword, 2 dark world dealings. You have plenty of targets. You can get rid of extra Royal Magical Libraries. You can get rid of ghastly bamboo sword, which can then search for another golden bamboo sword, or you can get rid of Toon World after you search for all your Toon Table contents. So, or maybe a dead terraforming. So there is plenty of targets in the deck for dark world dealings. And if you're playing Tempest build, it's a great way to put Plague Spreader in the graveyard. Toon Table Contents can search Toon Table Contents. It adds a Toon card from your deck to hand. So pretty much you get Royal Magical Library, you activate one, you activate the next, you activate the next, search Toon World, you have 3 counters, and then 2 World, you get to draw 1 more card, and you really didn't go minus at all, and then you can get another counter with Toon World. Into the Void is, if you activate this, it's either you win or you lose, pretty much, because during the end phase, you discard all cards in your hand, which means all of your Exodia pieces. So, just gotta be careful, make sure you can actually go for game. 1 duality, because you can only activate 1 duality, really great. Doesn't matter when you get it, if you open up with it, great way to try to get to that Royal Magical Library, it just really helps out. And then Reload is of course really useful, especially if you do have Royal Magical Library, because then you can actually go plus and sustain yourself. It can help with putting, if you draw into 2 Toon Tables, it can help with putting your Toon World back in the deck, and then hopefully you don't draw it again. So Reload is definitely very helpful, but I would not run Magical Hammer and Reload, that's just a little bit too much. And then of course the Toon World for the Toon Table contents. Ghastly Bamboo Sword, you can equip it to your opponent's monster or to Royal Magical Library against your attack. But here's the awesome thing, it has 2 awesome effects. Like I said, if it's sent to the graveyard, you can search for another Bamboo Sword, so that's really great if you have 2. The other effect is that you can target a Bamboo Sword, and you can return it to your hand. So you can activate one, so if you have one on the field already equipped, you can activate another one, so that's 2 counters, and then bounce one, and then you can activate it again. So that can be 3 counters if you want, or you can keep it in your hand, and then just use Dark World Dealings and use it to search for a Bamboo Sword. So if you've already gone through all of your Golden Bamboo Swords, you've already drawn into them, you can give 4 counters just by activating all 3 of these, which is really useful. Being able to get that with 4 counters, you get to draw 1 card, and of course you drew 6 cards using the 3 Golden Bamboo Swords. So it's definitely very useful. You just got to be careful to make sure you don't draw into stuff. And then Chicken Game. Yeah, very This is pretty much what makes the deck, because if you don't open up with World Magical Library and you open up with Chicken Game, don't be afraid to activate it, because if your opponent doesn't know what you're playing, they may activate it themselves, and so that way you get to keep it. If you know you're playing Exodia and they're running Chicken Game, destroy it. Don't let them keep it. Just get rid of Chicken Game as soon as you can. But don't be afraid to leave it out. Wait a turn. Maybe you get that extra draw. And so it's just very useful. And then of course with Pseudo Space you can banish Chicken Game and it will copy its effect. So you can activate Chicken Game 6 times in one turn. Which is amazing. And that is it for the deck. It's crazy. And it's Exodia. It didn't take off in the TCG as many people thought. Ace and Ice did. Thought it would. But it is definitely a FTK deck. It's definitely an Exodia deck. As far as World Magical Library getting hit, Ignite's aren't doing anything, and as long as this isn't like destroying the meta, forgive me, sorry guys, then I see no reason for it. And Chicken Game definitely should not get hit. It's not that many people are playing it, and it does have utility in decks that need that consistency boost, because it definitely helps out. Now for the extra deck, of course you're not really going to be making any of these stuff. Ancient Pixie Dragon can destroy and draw a card by destroying Chicken Game. Oh no, after revolving a field spell, draw one card. Yeah, and then you can destroy a monster, so definitely has some utility. Tempest Magician, and of course like I said, get a whole bunch of counters on him and on your magical abductors, and then you can just get rid of all of them and inflict 500 for each. You could have like 20 easily on both. You could have 3. The max you could have is 3, of course. 1 in the Pendulum Zone, 2 in the Monster Card Zone, and then you can just do a whole bunch of damage. And then Crazy Pox. If you can get out 2 level 4s, this is more if you are running the Pendulum build, because if you are running the Pendulum build, then you can actually use these cards to draw. Because you can make a level 4, a rank 4. If you bully 2, you get a draw card, and if you get out 3 of them, which is extremely hard, you can sign 1 card from your hand or graveyard and draw 1 card. So very desperate stuff. You're not really going to be focusing on doing it. If you have to make it, you probably just got rid of your Royal Magical Library, so why even bother? And then, of course, for the side deck, Plague Spreader, Foolish for the Plague Spreader, another duality, if you really wanted that. Hand Destruction, of course, just to make sure that we can get Plague Spreader into the grave, and it can also mess with our opponent if they do have the 2 cards. We aren't running Hand Destruction, because if your opponent only has 1 card in their hand, you cannot activate it, so I don't want dead cards. And then, of course, Life Equalizer and Magical Explosion, as for that FTK, as I said earlier. And so that is it for this Exodia deck profile. Who knows, maybe it'll be more of like a casual deck that you see at locals. I don't think it's going to make any impact. I don't think Yugi's Legendary decks are going to make any impact whatsoever, except for that Arcana Dark Magician, which is absolutely beautiful. I want to get my hands on it. And so yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this deck profile. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. See you guys later.